Banana and Bears Rugby Pod.
I love the crow. There's a fucking crow in the back.
Well,
Hey. Fuck. I think did we just officially start season 3? Did we? The two of us looking at each other. Oh man, this is so cool. We are the coolest podcasters that have ever sat in front of each other. This is the welcome everybody, season 3 of Banana and Bears Rugby Pod. How you doing? Woo! We're both absolutely pit vipered up to the fucking head right now. I'm sweating. The inside of my pit vipers are actually fucking fogging up, but I don't care. I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue. We need vents in our pit vipers. Anybody go over and find it on YouTube. Banana and Bears Rugby Pod. It has its own channel, and you will see if only for now, just two of the coolest people that have ever sat down. Whatever we say next, we're just super cool. Welcome everybody. Hey, how you doing, Anna?
good. Do you know what's gas? So when was our last episode? It was like early May.
Yes.
And we've barely even spoken all summer. I can't believe the summer's almost over. I swear to God, I don't know if you remember the last episode, but I was hatching plans and stuff. I literally have been like a hamster in a wheel. It's like when I said goodbye to you, I was like, okay, I'll talk to you soon. And I got into the fucking wheel and I've been spinning all summer. I have not stopped. It's been great, but I'll tell you about all my plans that I was hatching at the time and what's come to fruition and not. So, but it's great to see again. I know a lot of our listeners missed us.
I was getting a lot of messages from people. We've actually shout out to, is it Liam is his name? He's in Chile. He has requested, he wanted to know if we needed a third person. I'm like, Christ, we can barely line up the two of us because knows where either one of us is going to be. We all damn near. I had it in my head. I said next Friday week, Blarney. I'm going to pick Anna up. We'll go to Blarney. Now, of course, Anna is off on gallivanting, which is a word that should be used more. That should be banana capeless gallivanter, professional gallivanter.
That's so funny because I actually said to myself, I need to start using that word more. I have been actually using it more, like the word gallivant.
Yeah, good, and great.
I bought there's a lovely card shop, and I just bought the card for myself and I just kept it for myself, and it says always choose gallivanting. And by God, is that how I've been living? Literally just out the door.
Because I keep an eye on your Instagram, and it's ludicrous because it's ludicrous. You cannot. It looks like Anna's a professional photoshopper because she's been fucking photoshopping herself into these bizarre, not bizarre in their own right, but next to the next one. And you're like, how did she physically get from there to that party to
Jesus.
to what is? And then all of a sudden you're just this spokesperson for a team called the Penguins or something. Like, what's going? What? Because my wife was going, how's Anna keeping? Where's she at nowadays? I said, where's she at? Where is she fucking at? I don't know. She's a woman of mystery. She is the chief gallivanter, the king of meandering, the queen of leaping around the place. Incredible.
Yeah. I actually, people be asking me where are you nowadays? And people be feeling bad, God, I can't keep track of it. I'm like, don't worry, I can't keep track of myself. So, don't be feeling bad because they'll be like, where are you after next? I'm like, I don't know. But I actually have it confirmed now. So what's funny is that kind of a bit of a full circle from when I spoke to you last. When I spoke to you last, remember I was saying I'm going somewhere, but I can't really tell you. I don't want to tell you yet.
Yes, yeah, and you didn't want to jeopardize anything either. You're like, I'm keeping stum here.
No, that's it. That's it. Yeah, which it'd be pure typical, like me now to be like, I'm going here, I'm going there, and then something happens and it doesn't work out.
Yes.
So I'd say I say goodbye to you on a Tuesday. Maybe it was a Monday, and on the Wednesday I was in La Rochelle.
Yes.
Meeting my new club. Visited the coaches and everything, and I'm moving to La Rochelle on Sunday and going to play and coach there for the coming season. Yeah.
It's Bula boss all day. Yeah. Bula boss.
Sorted
that's
anyway.
Incredible.
Yeah, it got added into the WhatsApp groups today, so it's finally happening. I didn't want to I'd been to visit them and it was kind of moving along yeah. I told you how I ended up in touch with them, didn't I? because everyone's like, "Oh wow, how'd you organize that?" I was
Yeah,
like, I
hold on.
literally
I remember there was
went down.
it was a great story. Anyway, yeah.
I literally went down to La Rochelle. Like a couple of us are playing for Gloucester last year. Out of the blue, we kind of had a bit of a weekend off. So like, fuck it, let's go somewhere. Where are the cheapest flights to in France? Because Ireland are playing France the same weekend.
Yes.
And where are the cheapest flights? La Rochelle. Down to La Rochelle, had a fucking whale of a time. Met people in the pub. One of them happens to be the coach of the women's team, and he was like, "Will you come play for us?" And I stayed in touch with them, and he messaged me last year. He was like, "I need a number 8." I was like, "Well, I need a coaching job." And here we are, bing bang, moving there on Sunday. So this is it, like, because everyone's like, "Oh right, we went to La Rochelle." Geez, that's very, like, how did you swing that one? I was like literally from the pub, like went to the pub in La Rochelle, and here we are.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, I mean, you need to have a good cut about you too, because they're not going to bring in some bollocks. Like like you're not going to
No,
be a good mix either. Like they're not going to bring you in. Like you know what I
oh
mean. And
absolutely, no,
you've the
and
pedigree behind you. It's not like I rocked in there with any chance of a go. You know, like
no, true. But the funny thing is, like, we were just walking past the pub at the time. We had actually spent a good few hours, like, in the pub. And then when we were walking past again, this fella stuck his head out the window. He was like speaking in French. And I was the only one who could speak French. And he was like, "Excuse me, you're a rugby player." So we're like, "Yeah." It's like literally out the window of the pub. "What are you doing here?" We're like, "Oh, we're
class.
just, whatever." He was like, we were like, "We'll come back to watch the match later." He was like, "Great, I'll see you here." So when we came back later, he came and spoke to us. And yeah, that's how we got connected.
It is,
But
yeah.
then,
I do love that. Absolutely, like there was some form of fate or something. Like you could have walked
yeah,
into any place that had a telly, and it just so happened to be where a coach from La Rochelle happened to be boozing. Like,
well, the thing was, we were looking for, we were looking for a place to watch the match the following day. So it's like, it was a very cheap flight. We arrived in at very early hours on the Friday morning in La Rochelle, and I was like, "Lads, we need to keep an eye out for somewhere where we can watch the game tomorrow."
yeah,
And just on the edge of the market, and we were just at the market visiting it, and there was this small place with like small little Stade Rochelet flags. And I was like, "Hang on, this could be a rugby pub here." Like, went in, flags from like Leinster, Gloucester, Wasps, Chiefs, like rugby clubs all over the world, flags all over the ceiling, like pure fucking rugby pub. Like,
yeah.
made friends with the owner, looked after us all weekend. Like, we were only looking for a place, and we were like, "Oh, are you showing the match?" She's like, "I am. Come in, sit down." Fed us with creme de menthe. We rolled out of the place like 5 hours
Yeah,
later,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
langers.
Creme de
It was
menthe.
brilliant. Creme de menthe, like. And then the next day when we turned up to the match, he had us right up the front. So, Joe, I'm looking forward to getting back there. I'm looking forward to getting back into a proper season. I've been
Yes.
like, gallivanting, and Spain was good, but I'm looking forward to something a bit more high performance. And now the women's team is only in Division 2, but that's why I'm going in. I get them up to Division 1,
Yeah.
hopefully this season, and will be coaching there as well. So, coaching is the next part of my career. So that's what I need to
Plus, the
make
facilities are going to
sure.
be sweet as a nut. Like, let's be honest. Like,
Yeah.
they're, the state of the art. Like, are you going to get totally jacked? This would be amazing to watch Anna's progress, because I mean, even as just for the crack, just go on. You know
Shave my
what?
head.
Last couple of seasons, I'm going to get fucking jacked. Shave a mohawk in. Just go.
Shave my head. Let my armpit hair grow. Pure
Yeah.
French, like.
Yeah. Big mustache like me by the end.
Jesus.
I swear to
No,
God,
I'd
if
say
you
now.
shave in a mullet, you'll be the greatest rugby player. Even without picking up a ball, you'll be the greatest. If you shave in a mullet, come on, you're
Yeah, and I'd
crazy
be
enough to give it
single
a
for the
go.
rest of my life.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hadn't considered that side of things. Maybe, yeah, you might want to seem somewhat attractive in society, but
Well,
just walking
let's
around,
see. I'll think about it though. I'll
just
think
maybe
about it.
the start of a mullet, just there, just the start. Keep your hair cool as it, like, because you got nice hair, just the start of it.
Yeah. I'll think about it. I'll consider it.
So now we're going to have podcasts now, are all going to be coming from La
From
Rochelle,
France.
a
From
cupboard
France
in
this
La
time, yeah.
Rochelle. So
The cover in La Rochelle. Yeah, I'll have to find it. Yeah.
still though,
So,
the weather situation, the food situation is going to be scandalously good. Like,
I hope so. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. But I
I
won't talk too much about it now. I'll be able to
no,
like
no,
fill you
no.
in like next week, and
But as the
And
fella
yeah,
says,
because it was interesting. We're but yeah,
if you put your hand into a bucket of
go
shite to
on.
come out with a fucking Rolex on it, Christ above, like, isn't that like that's all anybody's thinking right now? They're going, I've walked into a million pubs and never once gotten a gig like that just from being good crack, like an
Yeah,
actual pro
yeah,
high end
yeah.
gig, like
This is it. Yeah.
quality.
So
Congratulations, that's a great move and very cool.
yeah,
Cool jerseys too, by the way. Cool kit.
yeah, yeah. It is. Yeah, yellow. I was thinking about that. I was like, I've never worn a yellow jersey,
Have you not?
and I'm always wearing yellow. I'm wearing like yellow
Yeah,
dresses and yellow everything. But yeah, never worn a real jersey. So here we go.
brilliant. Ah, that's class.
As long as they keep
Class.
the yellow in the jersey now, they will. Yeah, black and yellow. Yeah, it's a lovely jersey and lovely. The girl, like the women, play in their home pitch as well. I don't think for every game, but for a lot of their games. So
Well maintained pitch, then is what you're saying. Like, in other words, it's going to be
I'd say so.
sweeter, nice track to
But I
run on.
don't actually know if it's grass or what's it called, Stade Marcel Michelin or something like that. Are you back to being a bollocks now? My pronunciation, like, oh yeah,
I
the
know.
croissant
I
for
rolled
breakfast.
my eyes inside my pit vipers just there. Just rolled them. There we go.
You'll be rolling. You'll be rolling.
oh,
But you know
oh,
what? I was at an Italian restaurant there last week, and I was like, and I'll have the pizza and quattro de formaggi. And my friend was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I feel like a fool if I said it in my accent. He was like, how would you say it in your accent? I was like, quattro de formaggi. He was like, yeah, you're right. You're right.
yeah.
You sound like a fool.
It's almost like, have you seen that video doing the rounds of Raj giving the talk in his Cork accent?
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus Christ. Have
but
I
you're
what?
going to be in a clubmate of Raj. How cool is that? Like,
Hmm.
so you're
Not for the first time. We both
no,
played for Munster.
no, of course, yeah. But you like, I love that you're going to roll in beside him someday and just be speaking French the correct way. And
J'ai mon fucking fou. I'm sick of it. Yeah, I love that. I actually really like that. So
yeah,
yeah.
there is a rawness to it. But anyway, listen, I know, and listen, right now are you teaching rugby to kids in Kilkenny right now?
I am boy.
You're like the rugby messiah. Like, the fact that you managed to, the word rugby and Kilkenny have gone together with you, like, is just
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, how have you not been burnt
Yeah.
at the stake for being down there trying to perform witchcraft? Like, because they're not into anything that doesn't have a stick in it.
I know. It's just funny, but it's just good kids here. It's in the Kilkenny College, so good. They play good rugby in the school here then as well. It's the Protestant school, you see.
Oh, I was just going to say the prods. Yeah,
Mm.
that makes perfect sense. Yeah, great. Hey, we'd all take their money. That's fine. Great. So and yes, and then you're away to La Rochelle on Sunday.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I can't. I'm 7,000 million
But, like,
things about rugby to say to you, and because you're the only person, like, all my friends are like fair weather fans, and I can't, because you're like, and you
right,
don't,
yeah.
you haven't a fucking clue what I'm talking about. Sure, you don't. Sure, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. I know. We'll get into Jesus. We've plenty to talk about
We
in the
have.
next few months. I cannot wait for the World Cup, and I'll be there.
I
So
know.
actually, my plan is there's no matches in La Rochelle, which is probably a good thing because it means that the city won't be as busy. Because I'm actually looking for a place to live out there, which has been really difficult. But sure, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And anyway, I'm gonna see how like work and training and stuff is going, but a few of my friends are cycling from Bordeaux to Nantes. So the first game is in Bordeaux, and then the second game is in Nantes. So a whole week later, like take the whole week and cycle from Bordeaux to Nantes, like 700 kilometers or something.
That's amazing.
So
that would be a
yeah,
super cool cycle.
yeah,
Jesus.
I know.
But
So
will you be
first
able
thing you have to buy over there is a bike.
Yes. Well, first thing you need is a bed and a roof. So
Well, yes, yeah. Sure.
so if anybody from the La Rochelle neck of the woods, if we any wealthy listeners who happen to be landlords in La Rochelle right now,
Sugar daddies,
sugar daddy,
yeah.
sugar mammy, we'll take a sugar
auntie,
sugar anything right now. Sugar second cousin. We'll even take like saccharin or
actually,
aspartame, whatever the fake sugars are, whatever.
If any rich person with a summer house there wants me to mind their house during the year, like, sign me up.
I have this on high authority that Anna Capeless is one of the finest house minders. She won't shit in the carpet or not. She'll go outside like a.
All I need is a good cupboard to record the podcast.
That's all. That's all. Jesus. So I suppose we'll give people a rough idea of what we are going to be doing. Amazing. Yeah. Listen, I'm in the middle of building a house. That's it.
Well, yes. Before we move on to the rugby.
Yes.
How are you?
Very good. Very good. I've been gigging all over. I have a new show written.
Great.
We will start touring it in November. Every corner of the country will get it. I was cautious to not start because I was offered a date right in the middle of the World Cup. I was like, Era, we'll hang on till November on. And I've booked in my biggest show to date, which is kind of insanity, really. It's the biggest venue I've ever done, booked in for a solo show. The University Concert Hall in Limerick.
Unbelievable. When's that?
Is it the 22nd, I think, of November? I don't know what I'm doing. Like, normally small little theaters and normally comedy clubs will do me, but like, hey, nut up or shut up, you got to do it, don't you? You got to do it.
Always choose gallivanting.
Always choose gallivanting. Exactly. So yeah, that's it. The comedy club is it's a sellout every single month, and I mean it's a pity you're going away, but you'll see it. You'll see it Friday. Hopefully, please God, please God, you'll see it Friday. And that's that. We are in the middle of blackberry season at the minute, right here. My child is currently full of about 7,000, I'd say today. Yeah, he's eating them straight from the bush. It's just straight from the bush now, like a goat. He's just eating them. He's not even bothering with fingers. He's just straight to the gut. So it's that's where we're at the minute.
Unbelievable. What a gorgeous thing to do for a kid. Like the memories, you'll have that memories forever. Like you're probably the same, when you're from the countryside. Like blackberries are like a huge part of growing up.
I've said this to friends and they're like, oh yeah, they make jam. Yeah, I like blackberry jam. Like, no, I mean, come August, September, it's like you get picking them.
Picking the good ones.
We're very, very lucky. Where we're building there are wild raspberries, wild strawberries, wild blackberries, obviously enough. We have wild apples, and we found sloes. And I don't know. Do you like gin?
Nah,
me neither. But apparently sloes and gin go to. But the fact that they're there and there's crab apples growing as well, I figure this is all growing into one property. So it's like, we're going to have to do something. Can't just have these sloes falling off and just on the ground. You know, they're a fruit of some sort. We got to do something with them. So that's we're very much embracing country life. I'm going to be probably wearing corduroy trousers by the time you see me next with a tweed t-shirt or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
The quick version of the tweed, no buttoning up.
No, nothing. Just pull it straight on as it rips over your face. Yeah. So that's what's the quick version of what's been going on.
Unbelievable. That's great news.
And it's very cool, but it's like that. The since May to now has absolutely, like, I don't even have wing mirrors. I can't even see how fast it fucking went by. Ridiculous. And now we find ourselves, Anna's off to La Rochelle, and we are looking down the barrel of, I mean, the excitement we had of the 2 Six Nations, and now we're into the actual World Cup. What a season!
I know.
What a year to start a great rugby pod.
I know. We're geniuses.
Are we genii? It's a genii as the plural. You're the smart teacher here. Is it genii?
Genii will do us.
Grand.
Well, yeah. It's actually not, but it has a good ring to it.
Does. Check it.
Geniuses.
So I suppose what we're hoping to get across, even though, as you notice, myself and Anna are rugby adjacent at best, we just have the crack for the first half an hour, and then we try and cram in as much of our excitement about rugby, because obviously we haven't talked properly either. We just leave each other kind of weird, whispery voice notes as we think of each other's next move. So we're hoping, obviously, to keep. We will stick with you through the entirety of. I mean, the excitement that you're going to be actually over there. I would love to be able to commit to getting over there to see you, to go to a match with you. I'd love to, but I have no idea what way things are going to pan out.
Yeah,
that's the way our lives are.
It is, and to be fair, me neither. I don't really know, because we'll have matches and I'll be working and this and that and the other. So Who knows? Who knows? But you're like you say, like, you know, in a couple of weeks' time, how much that can happen within the couple of weeks, the couple of months. Sure, you just don't know. We could both be sitting watching Ireland win a World Cup final in a
Oh my God.
couple of weeks' time. Like,
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Yeah, and I
sorry to
tend
put that out there. But
I know, but that's fine. We're saying putting it to the universe. I
yeah,
took
let's put it out there. Let's
yeah, we're gonna win the World Cup.
even though I feel like last on the last season I was so kind of conservative. I was like, no, we can't be gonna. But you know what? You're right. Let's put it out there. Let's fucking back ourselves. I'm still nervous though, like seeing how good the All Blacks were and like South Africa. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
see.
I
Let's
know.
see.
I
I
know.
just hope that it's fucking good tournament. Jeez, I can't wait.
I know.
I'm still listening to you, by the way. I'm just doing my hair.
You're really good at that, by the way. Anna's doing her hair. She's putting on an expo, showing off her luscious locks as I sit here as my hair just falls out
Yes.
around me with stress.
Tutorial. This is a good way to. It's a good way to you know, should advertise this as like a hair tutorial, and then people have to listen to us at the same time. That's how we get more listeners. You do your hair, I'll do mine.
Anybody wants to see, go over and see how to do a very cool tight braid into the side of the hair, going down into a lovely pigtail down the side on just one side of the head. The kind of tight ones you see Anna playing with, that basically means that her hair won't get ripped off by some savage from somewhere in North France. Just pull the head off, or some woman with a moustache stronger than mine.
Someone like Joan of Arc.
Exactly. So the hope anyway going forward is we said and we promised, and people have actually messaged me a good few times about this, that our promise to give them the rundown of how to rugby essentially, which I was thinking that we will try and possibly do it, maybe as I texted the other day, maybe 5 to 6 of these in maybe half hour segments, and we'll dot them throughout so that people
half hour. That's ambitious enough.
I think we could get. I know, but if we just jump straight into it, bang, bang, bang. Here's what you need to know about the backs. Here's what you need to know about the forwards, and here's what you need to know about rugby in general. And we'll do a very, very broad general. Don't worry, we won't be going tight on things when it comes to moves or set plays and stuff like that. A little bit about maybe the line out, a little bit about the scrum. And
and people can send us their questions as well. I think that like what rugby for dummies, essentially.
I didn't want to say it, but that's literally what we're planning on doing, and that's a great way of actually teeing it up, is for people so that we know what our audience is looking for. Is send us questions. What in the Christ are they talking about when? And hopefully we'll get to the bottom. Well, I mean, Anna will. I'll just dance around what Anna's saying and back it all
well,
up.
Also, we did have people, like, I had a few messages last time, people saying they were very excited for the Six Nations from listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
Just because I think that we talk about it kind of in a not so massively technical way anyway. Sometimes we do get a bit bogged down with it, but like, that'll be the plan, just to kind of talk about it on a simple level, because that's the thing. You know, we're talking about it here, the bunch of coaches, and we were like, do you know what? It's a very simple game.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, you crash it up, you look for space, off you go.
Yeah.
Like,
try and
dot
the white joke down over their line and stop them dotting the white joke down over your line. Simple as that.
That's it. Very simple game.
Yeah. Try not to hurt anybody too badly to the point where you get sent off. There has been a couple of new rules and whatnot like that. Oh
yes, it'll be interesting to talk about as well.
Yeah, very interesting to talk about coming up down the line. So that's roughly the schedule we're going to. Listen, we're just going to be throwing a load of rugby at you between now and the end of the World Cup. How's that? I mean, literally, the legitimacy of this is that Anna is going to, well, pretty much now the home of rugby in France right now. That's where she's going to. So there be no. Any of the scutter I'm going to be talking can be backed up by the actual reality that Anna's actually a rugby person.
Yeah, but that's a good thing, because we need reality as well. You know, real life.
Yeah.
Can't just be like, if you get into too much nerdy rugby talk, you'll exclude people. But we need like a reality check on it as well.
Exactly.
Because everyone's going to be enjoying this World Cup, because people watching, they won't know what's going on. I'm just trying to part this. That's not
I
straight
know.
now at all, is it?
No, it's not.
Flip.
No, you may tuck that thing back somewhere because I'm all about symmetry. From my engineering background, I cannot have you trying to make a set of bangs out of that thing up the front. No, get rid of it. That's it, gone. Or make one thing of it by itself, one or the other.
Feck, I can't. I'm after losing it on the other side. Anyway, look.
In all fairness, you did this while looking into Zoom. Well, no, yeah, you do have a
I actually do it better when I'm not looking at any mirror at all. Because if I'm looking at it, it comes down very low because I want to see it. But if I just, do it when I'm just looking around, it stays back a little bit.
Just staring at the opposition and the other dugout, just going, "I'm going to tear you."
Yeah. And then they're like,
"Who's that?"
And they're like, "I'm
maniac?
gonna catch her fucking pigtails and swing around like Matilda." Actually, the last podcast we did, I put my pigtails in. You were like, "You're up to something, because you got your hair like that." And I was like, "No, I only do this when I have no hair dryer." So that when I pat it in, it comes out all crinkly and it looks like I've put a bit of effort into it. But there you go, it was easy as that.
I don't know though. You were well. It turns out I was right. You were up to something. Skullduggery afoot while off gallivanting.
Well, I had a serious gallivant that time. Do you know, after I went to La Rochelle, where did I go? Oh yeah, I went to
You ended up in
wedding
California,
Spain.
were you? Or am I imagining?
I did.
Yeah.
So after this is how I went. I went from La Rochelle to Spain, to Ibiza for a week, to Barcelona to see Coldplay, and then I went to Belgium for a rugby tournament, stayed in Belgium for a week, and then I went to Amsterdam for the sevens, and then I came home. So I was gone for I don't know how long, like literally just a bag on my back, scooting around like to different rugby things. Went home for about 2 weeks, and then I went to California to coach rugby there in a kind of a summer camp there, youth summer camp. And then on the way home from California, Jesus Christ,
you met Jesus Christ, which I would believe, by the way. It's
I met him in the airport, and
getting fags.
I was going to Amsterdam to play this Penguins games, just an invitational side, and I played with them before. It's very interesting, they play games here and there. They're very historic. They've been around for years and years, but they finally have a women's team now, and they were playing a game in Amsterdam. So I flew from California to Amsterdam. That was the plan.
Yeah.
Right, to fly back via Dublin. And anyway, flights cancelled, had to go via Chicago, lost my bag, had to come into Dublin, but because my bag had been lost at this stage, I didn't have to go back out to check back in. I could just stay inside. And I had to get off the plane and run. Like, I had to sit up the front of the plane. Like, there was this fella, and I was like, "Sorry, can I sit in next to you here? Because I need to, like, run." And, like, everyone around was like, you got this. Like,
oh my God,
clearing the way. And I, like, ran off the plane, made my flight to Amsterdam by the skin of my teeth. No bag. Arrived in, had to wear someone else's boots. Always put your gum shield at least. Now, I'd usually put my boots in if I was playing a match. I just didn't have room this time. Had my gum shield, but had to wear someone else's boots, someone else's knickers, someone else's bra. They had to give me kit. And I had a flight out of Amsterdam at 9:30 on the Sunday morning to come back home. What time did I wake up? After a few beers now, mind, and probably a slight concussion from a head knock and a massive black eye. I had a massive gash in my leg as well.
Bless.
What time did I wake up for the 9:30 flight?
Go on.
8:30.
Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I've never done that in my life. I put it down to a mild concussion. Looked at my thing. Holy shit, my flight's in an hour. Up, packed. Hadn't even packed everything into the bag. Ran downstairs. It's probably still in my pajamas. Ran downstairs. Bus gone. Hopped in a taxi. Sitting in traffic like all the way to the airport. I didn't even look at my watch. I was like, I don't want to know. Hopped out. Had everything in a Dunnes Stores bag. A paper Dunnes Stores bag. Wherever the fuck that came out of. Was running. Running down the hall like massive airport. Amsterdam Schiphol Airport.
Bastard.
My mouth was like fucking Gandhi's flip flop. My ukulele fell out of my bag. I had to go back and pick it up.
This is like a Mr. Bean fucking. Of course, a ukulele fell out.
I know. And then I looked at oh yeah, they stopped me at security for like 10 minutes, and I was
Yes,
like,
properly.
I'm gonna miss my flight. I'm gonna miss my flight. Like about 10 minutes, and then there was like in the end there was nothing. I was like, there's no liquids, nothing. Like there couldn't be. And then they were like, just a random check. Okay, ma'am, off you go. And I was like, you bastards. And I was running, checked the board, D24. Right, came around the corner, D2. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Running along the travelator, excuse me. Got to D24. There's people queuing to get into the what I thought was D24, and I was like, is this Cork? Is this Cork? I had like no moisture in my mouth whatsoever, and they're like, what? I was like, is this about Cork? And they were like, no, Dublin. And I was like, oh my God. And I fell on the floor. My tin whistle rolled away down the hall, and I was just like lying on the floor. People were like, oh my God, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm just sad. And listen, and it was like, you know that scene in The Bodyguard? Do you know when he's shot, but he looks up to see your man and shoots him? That's what it was like. I was like lying on the floor, and I like look to my right, and I see a door open, D24. And I like got up. My passport, tin whistle, ukulele, Johnson's bag, everything on the ground. I run over and I was like, are you going to Cork? Please let me on. And they were like, oh, like clearly ready to like not board anybody else.
yes.
I was like, I'm coming. Like ran down, picked everything up. Here. And they were like, and I was like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And they like they just let me on. And I like sprinted down the ramp. And I was like, and the women, like the air hostess, were like, oh my God. And like they came running over with like paper towels and a bottle of water. And I was like,
You look like you escaped
I
something.
had a massive black eye. I had a huge gash in my leg. I had the ukulele under my arm, the tin whistle, and they were like, what is going on? Like, and where was I sitting? 29A. Had to pass everyone who's waiting for the safety demonstration. They're all like sitting, looking forward, and I'm just have to like banging through them.
Sorry, lads.
And like I didn't know at the time, but when my sister came to pick me up, she's like, Anna, the fucking stink of drink coffee. I was like, no. And when I arrived to like work on the Monday morning, someone said to me like, you were on a flight there yesterday. I was like, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I thought I got away with it.
No, the news had it that this rabid woman with a tin whistle, she'd stolen a child's guitar and somebody else's tin whistle and kicked open. By the time that story would have happened, you know, caught Chinese whispers, you literally were 6'8". You ripped the side off the plane, kicked two old women
hairy
in the face.
Hairy mullet.
If you had a mullet and hairy armpits, I swear to God. Okay, you would have been arrested, actually. You wouldn't have got through security, but at the same time.
Jesus, yeah.
He was absolute fucking savage. That's okay.
So that's, so made it home. And I've been home in Cork since. I never left again.
Yeah.
Till Sunday.
Till Sunday, yeah. Yeah, until the fear passes. It takes about a fortnight for the fear to fully pass. And then you're like, I can totally handle myself as an adult.
Yeah, I know. I've never done that before. Jesus almighty, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, no, the stress levels that I'm feeling already, like as a just from hearing you, I'm just sitting here, I'm sweating.
I know, I'm sweating, telling it. And everyone was like, I would have just, paid for the next flight. I was like, I thought of it. Like the second it came into my mind, I was like, I don't have enough money.
Shit.
I just don't have enough money. Yeah. So I was like, I have to make the flight. I can't believe I made it. But sometimes, this is what I was banking on, they'll say gate closes at, sometimes the gate doesn't close until they're just departing.
Yeah.
So that's what I was banking on, and we are. That was it.
I love the family, like that would have been nicely quiet, just going, look, you have to behave yourself when you're out in public, kids. Just keep it together. Look at all these lovely adults. Everybody just minding their own business. And then you just come tearing through.
You away, and then
I'm tearing through like a fucking tornado, shit flying out of your bag, your fucking legs in all directions, going, hey, is this the
Cork? My lips were stuck to my teeth. Yeah, so
Oh
I'm going.
God, beautiful.
Yeah.
We have spoken nothing about rugby. So listen, I suppose we've been teeing people
Sorry,
up,
we
and
were
I don't.
talking about rugby there.
No, I know when you kind of technically were, and you were making it way more interesting. Did you get to watch any of the game last weekend against Italy, Ireland?
I did, yeah, I really enjoyed it because I know everyone's like, oh, it's a bit flat, it's a bit this, it's a bit that. I'm like, no, I enjoyed it. I
No,
loved it. I thought just exciting, you know, like seeing Stockdale back and just seeing like Craig Casey pulling the strings and Jesus, Kaelin Doris is just a savage and like Jimmy
he
O'Brien, like just very exciting for those players. I absolutely loved it.
Calvin Nash got to make his debut as well.
Yes. Yeah,
Class,
yeah,
class.
yeah. Nearly
Yeah,
got a try.
the I was fiercely excited. I mean, the first half was actually a bit, but also I suppose there's going to be a bit of finding themselves too, because lads were fair trying. Some lads were really trying. Like Jacob was like, "Give me the ball, give me the ball."
Yeah,
It's like that.
yeah. You need that.
Yeah, of course he does. But it was,
Yeah.
I think I mean, it was not a conclusion. I felt bad there after losing two of the Italians. They're after losing two of the lads, and they won't
Oh
make the World Cup now.
no.
Like gutting,
And as well,
gutting.
like they it's a pretty strong team for them.
Yeah.
More or less, not fully. They probably say the same thing about us. It's just, I suppose, when you recognise some of their strong players, they would have recognised some of our strong players as well. So maybe it was a weakened team. I just like Italy are just such a enigma, really, about how constantly far behind they are.
Yeah, it's an. I mean, they can pull off flashes, but as you said in last season, you were like, it's like they have no fucking idea where the try line is. Like, do you know what I mean? They come on, lads, come on, come on, because Ireland could have had a couple of more out there too. Like, do you know, which would have ended and put it away to bed, but the changes and all the rest, like lads coming on. Keane Healy, I mean, tip of the cap, like tip of the cap. They haven't,
Jesus,
as
what a legend.
we're speaking right now, they haven't announced the squad just yet.
Mm.
But like, how the hell is he still trucking, and he looks in good nick? Like, what's he doing?
Jesus, yeah. I don't know. He's eating like, I think he has like cows lined up in his house and he's like milking them, making his own butter cheese, and then like eating the cow. And then the next one.
And
I think so.
chances are, what round, because I know he bought a dog off a next door neighbor of mine. So I wonder, was it purely for the blackberry season? Because I'd say blackberries are possibly the thing. See, this might be the thing that wins us the World Cup. I'm thinking, because
Blackberry season.
I'm seeing what it does to a 3-year-old. I mean, the kid damn near ran through a fucking wall after 9 or 10 pounds of blackberries. Just putting it out there, Andy Farrell. Just putting it out there. I have a lot of acreage of fucking old briars, and they're full to the neck with blackberries right now.
Right. You can do business there.
I'm going to actually.
I love our theories, by the way. Do you know, someday we're going to be on the money.
It's one of these ones that's going to land. Mightn't be the blackberry one just yet. I'm going to bring you a few on Friday. See what you think. Pass judgment.
Yes.
Because you won't get many in the way of blackberries now and shaking out La Rochelle with your what would be a typical French. Go on, give us a right French word there.
Croissant.
Do you know what? I want in Care, when we meet in Care on Friday, I want to go into Super Value with you, and I just want to stand maybe 15 foot back from you as you try and order one of them yolks you just mentioned, because
oh no, when I'm in the supermarket, like, oh, I'll have a croissant, please.
Yeah, I'll have a croissant. A croissant, even. A croissant.
Croissant. I know, yeah, people say it in different ways. Oh, the cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac.
There's no good way of saying cul-de-sac. I don't care what anybody
Jim on
says.
fucking foo.
Jim on fucking
foo.
Jim on fucking foo, boy. The game of the weekend for me, and we won't labour too long, because listen, the real rugby will kick off next week when we get properly hanging. The Wales beating England. Jesus fuck Christ.
Fair play to them. I didn't see it.
I caught the extended highlights, like 15 minutes. They looked, it wasn't any kind of, they were streets ahead of them. I don't know what England are either playing at, because they they didn't they didn't show up. But apparently, like Wales are like he has them in hit. Like, do you know those panic rooms and them scare things around Halloween? It's that level of like he's waterboarding them and everything. He has children crying over the speakers, run them through the forest in the dark and stuff like SAS level, like horror, like lads bawling, crying, getting sick with fear. In the like he actually has the SAS training them. Like it's at a level now where lads probably will, the wives will leave him at the end of this tournament, like because they're going to be PTSD'd after it. Like it'll just be, but they may actually do well, and they beat England in the warm up. So I mean, things are going all right. Like, but
fair play to them. It's funny, isn't it? Like everyone just slating them and whatever. Look, I said it all the time. All bets are off.
Come the World Cup,
Rough.
all bets are off when it comes to Warren Gatland at the World Cup. Eddie Jones with Australia, same story. All bets are off. You don't know what they're gonna do.
No. Oh Jesus, that would have been a fucking brilliant result if Australia were able to beat the All Blacks. That would have been class.
Yeah,
that would have been really like, okay, all right, let's see what happens.
Do you know what? I don't want them to get bet at all. I want the All Blacks to be the cocky Kiwis that they are going into I want them absolutely full. Oh, I want them full of piss and vinegar come the World Cup. All gone, you might fucking chops, you fucking that's what I want, because I want them.
Grateful for the boys.
Yeah, just grateful for boy. Hi, can we clean up your dressing room, like? Yeah. All I can imagine when they even speak, Korg from Thor. The guy who's, hi, Paula Rocks here in the corner. How you do? Yeah. Nope. Okay. I knew even as I was saying it, it was like, hey, this is falling on deaf fucking pit vipers right now. This is.
I was going to be like, oh yeah, but then sure, I was afraid you'd ask me more questions about it.
No, because I know full well when you gallivant, you haven't time for watching Marvel movies. Why would you?
No,
you're literally living inside one. You're living inside one right now. And when you go to the cinema, you probably watch something fucking arty and French in another language. Am I right?
Barbie. Oui, bien sûr.
Barbie.
Yeah, I went to see Barbie. Was class.
I heard it's a masterpiece, actually. Yeah, I heard it's brilliant.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. That was brilliant. But also, I'll have to get to Oppenheimer as well. Now, I try to get to the cinema whenever I can, but I don't usually have time for watching a film at home.
Yeah, of course, because you have ants in your pants, itchy feet, and meandering and gallivanting and figueries. Figuerie is another good word that you can introduce to the French. Figuerie, is one of my great favorite words of all time. To take an ocean. Yeah. You are literally the Figuerie queen. You just taking out an ocean. And I said, Jesus Christ, why did you paint your car? Or why did you go and buy a new set of gates? Sure, there was no need. I said, I took a Figuerie. And you can just take a Figuerie.
Figuerie, that's how you use it in a sentence, right? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So you can have a Figuerie or you can take a Figuerie, and it's the same thing as I took an ocean, and that's all, and that's the end of that. There needs to be no more explanation beyond that, then, unless somebody for the first time has never heard. But that's it. That is a full stop on what you're talking about. So
I understand.
I just had an out Figuerie, and that's that. And you literally are the Figuerie queen. Figuerie enough now to La Rochelle. But before that, we are going to tie up for a proper sit-down podcast this Friday evening. But let's split up for now. That's been a great training session, lads. Fair play to you. Thanks very much. I'm going to go have an ice bath now. I'm wrecked after that story about being.
Pick up all the cones and the balls. Oh, sorry, PTSD.
That should be. We need to make a soundbite of that, and that should be the end of the podcast. Actually, would you pick up the ball?
Pick up all the cones and balls.
I'll pick them up myself, for fuck's sake.
Lads, that's what I'd be saying to them.
Yeah,
lads. Now, I'd be shouting at them, but they know it comes from a place of love.
Yeah, that's.
I think they do anyway.
Yeah, whether they do or they don't doesn't make a difference. Listen. This has been tremendous. I'm very, very excited. I had 7 million more things to say to you, but we need to actually parcel them into a media format that people can digest over the next 6 weeks or so. So I will retain myself.
Wait.
Hold it back.
Yes.
Stay quiet until we see each other in a couple of days, and we'll start absolutely ripping into this podcast. Everybody, ye are very welcome back. You know what to do. If you haven't hit subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. Typically it's Spotify, so hit the bell as well, so that when this does arrive into your phone on a Tuesday, you'll know it is there. And if you wouldn't mind, give us the 5 stars as well. We had a clean, I think we still have a clean bill of full 5-star rating right now. So fair play to all of you that have done so far. Share it, tell everybody about it, and hopefully at some stage, I mean, well, oh Lord, I was going to suggest, like, I was actually even talking to somebody about a podcast festival. They were like, would you have us? I would, but then as soon as you mentioned it, I'm going to La Rochelle full time. I went, right, we'll hold off on that for the minute. So
you fly me in.
do you know what? I would. I think and actually literally fly you in, a huge drone to pick you up from Cork Airport, sit on the back of it. No, stand on the back of it. I stand on it like the Green Goblin in Spider-Man and come through the window of the venue and just jump off. Full gear, full kit wanker, gum shield in, hair plaited, black eye, cut legs, sit down and go, let's fucking do this.
I'm like, it's there for cock. Chase up on the drone. Unbelievable, Jeff. Right.
Ihawa.
Ihawa. Slán Awalya.
It's the banana